right, so lesson 134, adding and subtracting fractions, part 3. All right, Giselle, this would be the place where you start getting a little more confused. So pay close attention, and any part you have a question on, just let me know, okay? Not just you, anybody can do that as well. Where's everybody today? All right.
Doing the language homework they didn't do yesterday.
Yeah, probably. All right. Oh, here comes Nathan. There are a couple other. Oh, that's Nathan again. I don't know why it does that. It was doing that for my 6th grade class yesterday also. Trying to admit 2 of the same people. Good morning, Nathan.
Good morning.
All right, so we're getting ready with lesson 134 here, Nathan.
Oh.
I'll share the whiteboard with you all. All right, so as far as lesson 134, adding fractions, which of course the first rule is always what, and Giselle, I want you to try to answer this the best you can, okay? So what do you, so what is the first thing you have to have in order to subtract fractions? Man, everybody's coming in like crazy now. So what is the first thing, Giselle? This is a rule that we've been talking about many times now. So what do you have to have in order to add or subtract fractions? Do you know the answer or no? Okay, somebody else help her out. Who can tell her? What do you think, Tejas? Started to wake you up for school.
I know. I was awake at 8:55. So yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. The good thing school is not going on right now. Some of you guys would never be here on time. Yes, Elizabeth, go ahead. Tell us.
They have to have the same denominators?
Yes, they have to have the same denominator, okay? So, Giselle, does that make sense? Do you remember that now?
Yeah.
That's the most important part of what we're getting ready to do here. So with that, we'll add 2 fractions together, 1/2 and 1/3. And so obviously 2, you can't multiply 2 by anything to make it a 3, okay? So you have to find a common denominator for both. Normally, if we had something like 1/2 plus 1/8, we could take that 2 and multiply it by 4 to make it an 8, right? And then the top one by 4, so the 1/2 becomes 4/8. And then we can add that easily by just changing one of them. But this one that we have now, you have to change both. I don't know who's drawing on my board. Please stop. I don't know why you guys feel like that's necessary. But, all right, anyway. So with the 1/2 and the 1/3 then, what we have to find is what is the lowest common multiple, lowest common denominator with them. Now, sometimes it's the lowest common one that is when you just multiply the 2 numbers together. But to know for sure, you have to do your multiples like you've done before. Okay, so if we count by 2s, we get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. If We multiply by 3s, you get 3, 6. Oh, we already found it. There's our lowest common denominator now, okay? So now, how do I make the 1/2? What do I have to multiply the 2 by to get 6 as the denominator? Did you say something? Oh, so 2 times what equals 6, in other words?
3.
3.
Yeah, so now I gotta multiply so I gotta multiply 1/2 times 3 over 3. Okay, so that's equal to 3 over 6, all right? So that one becomes 3 over 6. Now the other one, 1/3, what do I have to multiply the 3 by to get to 6 there? 3 times what is equal to 6?
2.
Okay, so I multiply that by 2 over 2. And that becomes 2/6. So now I'm going to add 3/6 plus 2/6. And my total, I'm just going to get rid of all this here to give us room. Get rid of those, get rid of those, get rid of all that. And now I have that left. I have 3/6 plus 2/6, which equals what, Giselle?
5, 6.
Okay, so that's what you're doing. Now before, you had to, when you added fractions, they would give you the common denominator. Then they changed one of them, so you had to change one of the fractions to find the common denominator. Now they're giving you ones where you have to change both of them to find the common denominator. So the idea is to find, first of all, what would the common denominator be? And then secondly, to change those fractions into that denominator by multiplying both the top and the bottom by that same number. Okay? All right, so let me give you one then. All right, so go ahead and do that one. Correct, Nathan? Okay, so we're this is something you need to do on your whiteboard or on your boards to show me the answer that you have. All right, I see. That makes no sense, David. That would not be correct. Not correct, Add Epic partner. Let me see, Elizabeth. That is not correct, Elizabeth. Don't add them, subtract them. It's 2/3 minus 1/2. So find the common denominator first. What's the common denominator, Giselle?
6.
Okay, so just change them so that they're 6s and change both the top and the bottom. That's still not correct, Elizabeth. David, they have you coming back in. Are you changing devices?
I need I'm gonna send the chats on my phone and then look at the board on the
That's fine.
computer.
That's correct. Tejas? Locke, have you gotten yours yet? Did you already show me yours? That is not correct, Elijah. How could you have 2/3 subtract a half from it, and end up with 2/3 as your answer. Yuri, yes.
What are we supposed to do?
Seriously? Oh, you weren't here for when I taught the lesson, were you?
Yeah.
You have to make a common denominator with those two fractions by doing the lowest common multiple. And then when you do the lowest common multiple, you'll find out what the common denominator is, and you have to change each fraction to be able to do that. Come on, Mr. Rasmussen. Hey guys, say hi to Mr. Rasmussen.
Hi, Mr. Rasmussen.
Hello.
Hi.
Who do we have here? Got a bunch of fifth graders, huh?
Yeah.
For how many days?
Probably just two more meetings like
more,
this, yeah.
2 more meetings and on to 6th grade, hopefully.
Hopefully, we'll see about some of them. Did you have a question for him? Okay, go ahead, that's fine. I'll just keep watching over here. That's correct, Tejas. I mean, Elijah, sorry, not Tejas. Pretty bad shape. We've used them 3 years, right? Probably. Oh, we haven't. That's bad. Gotcha. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's correct, Nazar. That's correct, David. That's correct, Alina. That's correct. Yeah, Alina, that's correct. Okay. They probably are then, I would think. I'll come and look at them since I'm done with this class if you don't mind. Okay. Right. Yes, Giselle, you're correct. That was charged last year, yeah. I mean, not, yeah, it was last year. I think we charged it, right? Yeah, all the damage. So, yeah. Correct, Elizabeth? Okay. I'll have to talk to Pastor Fricks about that. Yeah. I understand what you mean. I think that probably wouldn't be a problem. I really do. I think that would be perfectly fine. But of course, if they do damage them or they lose them or something like that, then they'll have to buy a new one to be able to use. So. Right, right. Yeah. I'll talk to Pastor Fricks and find out for sure. Okay. Yeah. Will do. Angelica, have I seen your answer yet? I don't remember now.
No, not yet.
Not yet? Okay. I could. Who's doing that? I could teach tomorrow's lesson the same way. It's pretty much a similar lesson, but I'll wait until tomorrow. You still have language to do anyway, so just I was like, yes, only one thing at a time, please. Right? Makes it easier that way. Some of the other ones are like, yes, please, only one thing at a time. So as I told some people that were here earlier, that we will probably have class. We will have class tomorrow. That's not right, Angelica. You would never put a decimal over top of a whole number on a fraction, not in this type of thing. How did you get 3 as your common denominator? Can't hear you, Angelica. Oh, go ahead.
I thought that for 2/3 minus 1/2 for the bottom one, 3. I thought I have to do that to put 3.
Well, your common denominator is what you have to have. And so you can't make 2 into a 3. How do you make 2 into a 3? So the proper way, oops, what happened? The proper way is to find the common denominator, which in this case is 6. Because you have, if you look at your 2 and your 3, and you do your lowest common multiple, it would be 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 3 would be 3, 6, and you see 6 is your lowest common denominator. That's the one number that will be the first one that you hit that's the same in both when you do multiples. So this one, to make it 6, you multiply by 2 over 2. And then the other one, you multiply by 3 over 3. And so on this one, you're going to have 4, 6. And this one, you're going to have 3, 6. And then you subtract it, and it ends up being 1, 6 altogether. That make sense? Angelica, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, so let's move on then. Does anybody have any questions about it? Pretty simple. You've
I
already
didn't.
steps of it. Go ahead. What's that?
I didn't get how to get the numerator because like in the last problem, you like changed it and I didn't get it.
When you say you talking about the top number, how I got the top number?
Yeah.
Okay, so the top number, basically what you're doing, you have to know what the bottom number needs to be multiplied by first, okay? So you knew, did you find out the common denominator is 6? Do you understand how I got that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we know then we have to take the 2/3, and to make the bottom one a 6, you got to multiply it by 2. Well, in order to not change the value of it, you have to multiply the top by the same number, because 2 over 2 is equal to what?
1.
Yeah, and so all we're doing is multiplying by 1. We're just changing how the fraction looks. That little dot in the middle means multiplication. Okay, so that first fraction, instead of 2/3, it equals 4, 6. Now, think about it. If you have 4, 6 as an answer and you reduced it, what would you reduce it to?
Two-thirds.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. It's like taking your circle and you're taking your 2/3. And so let's say that this part here that's 1/3. This is 2/3, right? But now let's split it up into 6. And so we'll make it into 6 parts. So now how many 6 are there? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So it's the same thing, just looks different. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So with that being the case then, so what you're doing then is you're going to change them both to 6 because that's your lowest common multiple, lowest common denominator. Please stop doing the arrows, whoever is doing that. Stop doing that. It's disruptive. Thank you. Who is that keeps doing that? I'm going to reach across the screen and smack you. Who is it? Nobody wants to admit it, huh? Chicken. Who is that? Nobody. I see some smile. I see some shaking. They must be the ones that are not smiling. Okay, well, all right. So anyway, so you take your 1/2 then, and you're going to make that into 6 by multiplying by 3 over 3. Because to make the bottom one a 6, you have to multiply by 3, and you have to multiply the same thing on the top. Okay, so that becomes 3, 6. And so now 4, 6 minus 3, 6. That's what this becomes, this right here. Okay, just changed them to look so that you had a common denominator. And so now I subtract them and it's going to equal 1/6. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
If it doesn't, let me know. I mean, I don't mind going over it again. Does anybody not
Makes
understand
sense.
it still? What's that?
it makes sense.
Makes sense? Okay. Everybody else is good then? All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to language then. All right, so in language, you had the one page to do for points, which was 262, I believe. Yeah, we finished that. All right. And thank you, Angelica, for the picture. I got it. So, all right. On 262, think B. Let me see your picture, please. Let's start with Giselle.
I didn't do mine because I'm.
Oh, thank you for letting me know. Why weren't you going to tell me until I asked? Because you were hoping I wouldn't ask. Okay. So a couple more people are sending me a chat message anyway. Looks like, oh no, that was old one from Ella from when she was asking the question. All right, so how about you, Ad Epic partner? Okay, good. All right, and Tejas? I don't know Tejas. Tejas is suffering from dementia, apparently. Yes, that's good, Tejas. Nathan? He doesn't know who Tejas is. All right. Okay, good. David? Notice we always lose people when this happens. All right. All right, David, good. Yuri? Don't take your shirt off, please. Oh, okay. I thought you were getting ready to take it off there for a second. Oh, thank you. You just turned it over. There you go. Good. Nazar, I guess I can't see yours because your camera's not working.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you send me a picture of it later?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Angelica. I got yours. All right, Alina, I think I can see yours from here already, so you're good. Elizabeth. All right, and then Ella.
I didn't do it because yesterday I was doing my Ukrainian school homework because I have to bring it in tomorrow.
You had to bring what in
And my
tomorrow?
mom told me to do that.
To do what?
My Ukrainian school homework.
I'm sorry.
Because I go to
Ukrainian
Ukrainian school and
Okay. All right. Then what I'll do is I'll
And
go ahead and
I
do the
I
next
had
lesson.
to be ready.
We'll go do the next lesson like we did before, and then those people that
Mhm.
did not get it done, I'll go ahead and have you guys sign off, and then we'll cover the answers for it. So look at 363. You guys all know what a thesaurus is, right? Isn't that the dinosaur that read books? Yeah, that was the one, the thesaurus. And that thesaurus that read books back in dinosaur days, they probably, who knows, maybe they could read. I mean, you had the serpent could speak, right? In the Garden of Eden. So the thesaurus. So if you look here, what a room, huh? Does this remind you of your room? I hope not. But if it does, some of you might smile. Let me see if I can see a smile on your face. Giselle's like, no, you can see my room behind me. It's clean, right, Giselle? Do you clean it yourself, Giselle, or somebody else?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay, good. And I'm not sure about the rest of you. Nathan, I don't think that's your room, is it? That's kind of an office area. Yeah. And then Schlock's in the middle of his living room, I think, aren't you?
I'm in my mom's room.
You're in your mom's room. I would imagine that's clean then. How about Perry the Platypus? You guys have boxes piled up yet because you're getting ready to move? Yeah, I figured so much. And then I don't know about the rest of you, but generally, I hope your room is not like this one. And you see this one, the picture up there on the top of 363. Okay, it says the room and its occupant are certainly sloppy. Okay, can you think of another word that means the same as sloppy that would describe the scene? So can you guys come up with one without looking there?
Messy.
Messy, okay, that might work. What else? Any others? Yeah, go ahead, Tejas. Microphone. Go ahead and turn your microphone on, Yuri. You can
30.
go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Yuri, go ahead.
Uncleanable.
Uncleanable, that would mean that you can't clean up. I don't think that would be, but unclean would be good. Okay, Schlock, go ahead.
Disgusting.
Disgusting might be a good way to describe it. Nathan?
Trashy.
Trashy, that would be a good one. Alina?
Unorganized.
Disorganized, okay, good. Have you guys ever heard the word slovenly before? Slovenly is another good word to describe it. And so the thesaurus, if you couldn't think of a word, or if you had to come up with a different one than what those were, you can use a thesaurus. Now, how many of you have a thesaurus? Now, Schlock, pay attention to this. You can go online on the phone to get a thesaurus online, okay? It's easy, it's free. If you just go to Google and you search for a word and ask for the synonym for it, you say synonym to whatever that word is, or an antonym, which is the opposite of it. You guys know the opposite words. So instead of sloppy, if you're going to do the antonym for sloppy, what might you put? Like after it's cleaned up, what might it be? Go ahead, Schlock.
Clean.
Clean, okay. Go ahead, Giselle.
Tidy.
Tidy, very good, okay. Yuri? Well, yeah.
Shiny.
Shiny, yeah, I guess that could be. What else? Go ahead, Giselle, you have another one?
Cleaner.
What's that?
Cleaner.
Cleaner, okay. Nathan?
Fancy.
Fancy, sparkling.
Fancy.
There are a lot of words that would mean the opposite of what that picture shows for sure. Of course, he does live in a cave. He is a bear or rodent. Looks like a rodent of some kind.
Mouse.
It must be a mouse because you can see he has a picture of cheese on the wall. And we know cheese all like mice, right? I mean, mice all like cheese. I don't know if cheese likes mice, actually. Anyway, so basically, that's what we're looking at and using what's called a thesaurus. Now, the most famous thesaurus ever created was one written by a man named Peter Mark Roget. And that's how you pronounce that, is Roget, R-O-G-E-T. He was a British physician. And so he had Roget's Thesaurus of English Words and Phrases. Now, we use it today, but remember, American English is a little bit different than British English. So the one that we use is for American English. British English, for instance, if I said to go ahead and put the clothes in the boot, they may know what I would mean if I was in England. Go ahead, Tejas.
The trunk?
Yeah, in the trunk of the car. All right, we don't call the trunk the boot. I can't remember what they call, they may know what they call the hood.
Oh gosh.
No.
Starts with a B. They call it the bonnet. The bonnet. So if we try to use British English, and as Yuri's eyes indicated, is like, what? What's wrong with those people? Well, they did have English before we did. We just changed it in American meaning. And by the way, we didn't really have a dictionary until the 1800s. What was the name of the famous person in America who came up with a dictionary of their own? You may know. Do you know Nazar by chance?
No.
You probably do. You've heard this before. Think of some dictionaries that you guys know of, makers of dictionaries, and one of the most famous ones. Go ahead, Nathan.
Webster's.
Yeah, Webster. Daniel Webster was the one who invented the dictionary, came up with a one method of using a dictionary in American English. So basically they had one way of spelling things and one way of saying things, because in the United States they had different colonies and everybody had their own way of pronouncing and spelling things. And so basically it just made it uniform. Now, English is what's called a living language. That means it changes even today still. And so things can be a little bit different, that being the case. All right, look at page number 364 then. So when we're talking about the right meaning, I'm going to have somebody read this really quickly. So maybe I'll start with David, and then just start reading there, and then I'll cut in and get somebody else to continue on there. So follow along.
Study the following.
Hey, we can hardly hear you. Can you speak up a little bit?
Study the following page from a thesaurus. Notice that the synonyms and antonyms for sloppy are divided into 3 different groups.
Okay, Nathan.
Since sloppy can be used in different ways, the synonyms and antonyms with similar meanings are grouped together. If you were writing about sloppy weather, you would choose a synonym listed after one.
Yeah, you got to make sure you don't say cinnamon, because that's the kind of stuff you eat on a donut, right? That would be a little different. So let's look there then on synonym. On sloppy. So look at sloppy, and it says number 1, sloppy, slushy, splashy, wet, watery, splattered, splashed, pulpy, sludgy, and squashy. None of those would really work for that previous picture, would they? Because there's nothing in there that's really wet so much in the little mouse's cave or little mouse's home there. So the second one, it says of appearance. This would be one that would be more specific to what you saw there. And so that you're talking about messy, slovenly, careless, frowsy. I've never used that word before. Dowdy, I've used before. I've heard it before. Tacky, smeary, dirty, untidy. And somebody had used the word tidy to do the opposite, but untidy would be work for that one. And it says of quality. That would mean the type of thing like when you're making something. Somebody who puts money into something, they do something in a sloppy way. They're using poor quality items and that type of thing. So in any case, so that's what they're trying to talk about there. All right, continue on there, Lena, if you would.
Mr. Jones,
We're on the blue box on 264, right after that number 1 on the 5th line.
you were writing about a sloppy room or person, you would choose a synonym listed under 2.
Keep going.
You were writing about how some carpenters did their work, you would choose a synonym listed under 3.
Okay, Ella, why don't you go ahead and finish up there?
Where are we? Because I was telling my brother something.
We're on the 3rd or 4th. I don't know if you count the 3rd or 4th line up, but right after that number 3 on that blue box at the top. The antonyms are listed. So 3rd line from the bottom up, where it says the
After what number?
Right after that number 3 there.
Okay. The antonyms are listed in the same manner. It is important to choose a synonym or antonym that fits the meaning of your sentence. Use a dictionary to help you find the exact meaning of any unfamiliar words.
Okay, and so that's one of the reasons why when I did the tests, the practice test earlier this year, that I would have you guys use the words that were in the vocabulary, use them in a sentence, because you could use sloppy maybe to describe some things, but if the word was slovenly, you wouldn't use it to talk about a wet, muddy area, because that would not fit for it. And so that's why it's good to understand the meanings of words. So look on the next page. It says using Roget's thesaurus. Using Roget's thesaurus. It says, like a dictionary, a thesaurus has guide words to help you find words quickly. What were the guide words? Somebody explain that to me, the guide words again. How about you, Schlock? Can you tell me what the guide words were? In a dictionary, remember we had guide words at the top? You remember? Your microphone's off.
They like show you like what type of words would be in the page?
Yeah, basically that's right. So you have the first word that would be on the page in an alphabetical order. All the ones between that one and the second one is what would be on that page. And so those are your guide words. All right. And then Tejas, would you read? Did you already read for me?
No.
Okay, go ahead and read the next part there.
The parts of speech of the words are given.
Keep going.
Slang words are labeled to let you know not to use them in writing.
You can finish it up.
Look at the entry word slopping.
Sloping, not slopping.
The word slanting after it is in capital letters tell you that the synonyms are listed under slanting.
Okay, so if you look over at sloping, which there is a word slopping, that would be like when you feed pigs, they call it slopping the pigs. But sloping would be like an incline of some type. So S-L-O-P, and then you see ing, and it tells you to go, it refers you to the other word slanting, because that's really what you're talking about when you're talking about sloping, okay? All right, so under think, all right, so they're gonna use the information on 264 to complete the puzzle. So that is going to be your assignment, and we still have some on the back. So let's turn over to page 266. I'll let you guys use the practice using the thesaurus page to answer that puzzle. But on 266, we may do some of this together, I think. All right. On Think A, it says write S in the blank if the two words are synonyms, and write A in the blank if they are antonyms. All right, Elizabeth, for number 1, innocent and guilty, are they antonyms to each other or are they synonyms to each other? Elizabeth? 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 Okay, let's try Yuri instead.
Yes.
Oh, you have it? Okay, Elizabeth, can you hear me now? Okay, barely not. Go ahead, Yuri.
Antonym?
Yeah, they're antonyms. Innocent is the opposite of guilty. So let's try Nazar. Can you tell me the second one, number 2, follower and disciple?
Synonym?
Yeah, they're synonym. They have similar meaning. Angelica, for number 3, permanent and temporary.
Antonyms?
Yeah, they're opposite of each other. Very good. Let's go to Giselle for number 4. Insult and compliment. In your microphone. You think an insult and a compliment are the same thing? You know what an insult is? Oh, then they should be an antonym, not a. Did you say synonym or antonym?
Antonym.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. So that is correct, antonym. And then how about a house and a home, Nathan? Synonym, yeah. Your microphone's off, but I think I understood what you said.
Synonym.
Synonym is correct. We got to ask you, Nathan, did you do anything special for your mom yesterday? Microphone again.
In the morning, we did go to Starbucks with her, but today we're just gonna have a little celebration at our grandma's house.
Oh, good. So you're saying that you took her and you bought her Starbucks yesterday?
No, our whole family went.
Oh, you didn't buy it?
No.
What? You should buy it for her. All that money you have, right? I'm sure you did. You gave her a present of just being a great son, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
By the way, tomorrow is Alina's birthday, right? No, Juliana's birthday, right, Yuri? And Andre, Juice's birthday. So if you guys can contact them, you can always contact them through chat room on Skype. It's still available if you are able to connect to that still. All right, let's go on to the next one. Yuri, I am Kon Hussein.
No, I am confusion.
You spelled it wrong.
I don't care.
I see that. Yes, I know you don't care. That's like the student that one time told Mrs. Jones, spelling is usless. U-S-L-E-S-S. They said spelling is usless. So I have a feeling that they found out that probably spelling wasn't as useless as they thought it was. Go ahead, Yuri. Answer number 6. Pass and fail. Are they the same?
Antonym.
Your dad's birthday's today, huh, David? Yeah, it's an antonym. They are opposite of each other. As opposed to what some of you are practicing in your work, passing and failing are not the same thing, okay? Elizabeth, can you hear me? She's frozen. All right, let's go to David. Go ahead, Mr. Perry the Platypus. Do number 7.
No question.
You gotta speak up. Your volume's down or something.
Number 7 is synonym, and what was number 5?
Number 5, you said?
Yeah.
It was a synonym also.
Okay.
And then nip and bite. Schlockinator. What do you think? Microphone.
Synonym?
It is a synonym, yeah. To nip at something, you're just kind of taking little bites at it. Sort of like a little fish will. Sometimes when you put your finger in there and it might try to bite you. Now, if it's a piranha, you don't want to stick your finger in the water. In case you didn't know that, piranhas, they will eat you. Okay. So you're going to use a dictionary. If you don't have one in book form, on your phone to find the synonyms and the antonym, or the synonyms. The antonyms on Think B. The words on the left are antonyms to the words on the right, but you got to match them up with the right ones. All right, so then it says on Think C to correctly spell the homonym for each of those words. These are going to be for points, not the ones using the dictionary part, but on Think C on the bottom. It's going to be for points. Okay, you should be able to do that now. Now on Write D, it says write the common prepositions from memory. You don't have to do that. Okay, I'm not going to make you write all 46, unless you want to. If you want to do it, you go for it. Also, don't forget the puzzle. All right, that's not for points, but make sure that you get it done, because I will check to make sure you have it done for tomorrow. Now, for the people that do not have the previous page done on 262, go ahead and I'll let you sign off unless you have a question first. Go ahead, Alina. What's your question?
What was for points on page 266?
266, yes. On the bottom, just on Think C is for points. And you have to do Think B or Write B or whatever it is. You have to do Think B, but you need to, but Think C will be for points. All right, so if you did not get the previous page done, 262, or is it 263? What was it? Yeah, 262. Go ahead and sign off, and then we will, unless you have a question, and then I'll get it checked with the other people so I can get their points for it. All right, so you don't have it, right? Okay, I'll see you later. All right, so here we go, guys. You ready? All right, so for the top, number 1 is correct. Well, number 2, instead of less, it should be fewer. For number 3 is correct. Number 4 is correct. Oh, hold on a second. Angelica got knocked off apparently. Angelica, it's funny because I still see your other one is here. Your other name and picture and everything, although it's blank. Do you get knocked off? No? Okay. That's weird.
I accidentally turned it off.
Oh, now it's gone. It just disappeared. So, okay. So we're checking 262. So on number 1, it was correct. Number 2, the answer is fewer. Number 3 and 4 both are correct. Number 5, what do you have for number 5, Nathan? Besides the sword fight.
Among.
Among is correct. It should be among instead of between. All right. And you remember to turn your microphone on just all by yourself without having to be reminded. Amazing. All right. How about number 6, Mr. Yuri? Mr. Confusion.
Number 6?
That would be the one.
May.
That is correct. It should be may. That I may go to the zoo. You're allowed to. David, number 7. Speak up.
Correct.
That is correct. And how about number 8, Miss Elizabeth?
Between.
Between, it should be, right? Because there's only 2 there. And then number 9, Alina, what'd you get?
Correct.
And then that's correct. And then number 10 for Tejas with your microphone on. May, that's correct. It should be may instead of can. All right. Now, let's hear your sentences for fewer. Hey, Nathan, can you stop, please? Thank you. Very annoying. You guys, it's like you're champions at how to be annoying. Even when we don't have school here, you still are champions at it. It's amazing. All right, so let's hear yours first, Schlock. For the first sentence, a sentence using the word fewer referring to something in the classroom.
There are fewer boys than girls.
Okay, good. There are fewer boys. Yeah, that's right. There are fewer boys than girls. Is fewer? Wait a minute. Fewer is the one that's. No, that should be right. Okay. Nathan, the pen guy. Number 2. Well, give me your first sentence. Sorry, the first one for fewer.
May you come to church with me? That's me.
What?
May
How is
you
that?
come to church?
Number
What
1.
page?
Sorry, number 1 is I said 2 at first, but I mean number 1. Yeah.
Yeah,
For fewer.
Yeah,
Number
there
1
were-
for right C.
there were fewer books in the classroom than last week.
Good. Okay. David, how about your sentence for fewer? Closer to the microphone, of course.
There are fewer desks than books.
Okay. Good. All right. And then let's go to number 2. And Alina, let's hear your sentence for number 2.
May I go to the store?
Good. Okay. Elizabeth, how about your sentence for number 2?
May I go to the circus Wednesday?
Okay. And then who is the not working one that changed their name there?
It's Nazar.
Nazar, go ahead and give me your sentence for number 2.
May I go to the party with you?
Okay, good. And Angelica, let's hear your number 2.
May I be in there?
May I be in there? Okay, that should work fine. Number 3, Schlock, let's hear your number 3, an amount. Your microphone.
That's the right amount of water.
Good, okay, that's the right amount of water. Good, okay. Tejas, how about number 3 also?
The amount of flour we have is endless in the kitchen.
Okay, good. Do you guys do a lot of baking at home?
No.
No? Okay. Yuri, hi. How about you?
For amount,
Yeah, for amount.
I don't have the right amount of pens.
Okay. That would be wrong.
What?
Well, I can count the number of pens. So you wouldn't use amount for that one. What would you use instead?
I don't have the right amount of water?
Well, you could use that, yeah. But I'm talking about for pens. If you were counting pens, what word would you use? He disappeared. David. Yeah, I know. His cousins want to play with him, I think is what it is. So did you hear that, Yuri, what I asked you?
No.
What I asked you was, what if you used pens like you had in that sentence, what word would you use instead of amount?
Number.
Correct. Very good. All right. Let's go to the last one, among. Let's hear Perry the Platypus's among.
Among Nazar, Nathan, and Elijah, Elijah is the fastest.
Okay, good. And probably true as well, right? Nathan, how about your among?
Among all the boys, he won the prize.
Okay, good. Alina, how about your among?
There was a fight among the 5th and 6th grade boys for who should be first captain in football.
Good. Seems to be a lot of competitive amongs here. All right. And Elizabeth, how about your among? Microphone, Elizabeth. Okay, got it. Good.
Among Giselle and me.
Come on, Giselle, Alina, and me. We won.
Very good. Okay. Angelica, how about your among?
The contest ended among Sophia and Emma.
Okay, say that one more time. I missed part of that sentence.
The contest ended among Sophia and Emma.
Okay, now that wouldn't be the right word because there are only 2 names there. And so if you added one more name, then you could use the word among, but because there are only 2, what word would you use instead?
Please.
Yeah. All right, and then Mr. Not Working. Is that because you're broken?
Maybe.
Okay. Go ahead and give me your among.
Among the 4 boys, Elijah is the fastest.
Wow. Somebody else had that same idea. I didn't realize Elijah was that fast. Is he really the fastest?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So for remember D, for number 1, you should have had leaves, Leaves. For number 2, you should have had feet, Feet. Hey, Yuri? Yuri, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, except you're not. You ready now, though? Okay. So number 3 is lives, Lives. Number 4 is bushes, Bushes. Number 5, sopranos, Sopranos. Number 6, journeys, Journeys. Number 7, decoys, Decoys. Number 8, ladies, Ladies. Bosses, Bosses. And cries, Cries. Now, I wasn't taking this for points, was I? Yeah. So tomorrow's will be, so make sure you get that done. Any questions about anything? Any of these that we did or anything else? Listen, this is the way it's going to go, so pay attention. All right? The way it's going to go is this. We will probably have class tomorrow, or we will have class tomorrow because we'll do lesson 135 for math, and then we'll probably, I'm looking at it, and I think we'll be done enough that I will give you a review tomorrow for your language test that you will take next week. Now, I gave you a language test in your envelope. Don't send it back to me, Yuri in particular, okay? Because you're going to take it next week. Now, if you want to take it over the weekend after I give you, that's fine if you want to do it ahead of time. Next week, there will be no classes, interactive classes. We won't need to. You will have, now there's some of you that need to work on your papers that you're doing. And I need to get back, and I'll get those back to today for those people for their outlines and rough draft that I've gotten, and I'll get those back to you with the grades so that you can finish those papers. That would be the only thing besides the test to do for next week for language. Monday is a normal pickup day for information. You'll get, I'll get to you in a second, Schlock. Monday is a normal pickup day for envelopes and drop off for anything that you've got to turn in. The last day to turn anything in, though, is next Friday, okay? You cannot turn anything in after next Friday. If you turn anything after next Friday, it won't count. So make sure you get everything done and turn it in by next Friday. Now, as much as you can give me on Monday would be great because then I can get it graded ahead of time. So that would work wonderfully. All right? Any questions then? Go ahead, Schlock, you had one.
Did you grade my what's it called, final draft for the coronavirus thing?
I'm not worried about that so much because that's that I will get that in, but that's not the most important thing right now. The most important thing would be your outline for the Helen Keller paper so that you can get that turned in, okay? So I'll get that to you first. I probably have not because I've been working on other things that take priority right now. Yearbook more than anything, so.
Sure.
Right? Yes.
Oh, never mind.
You sure? Okay.
Mhm.
Anybody else?
Mr. Jones,
Yes, sir.
if we do the language test during the weekend, do we send it to you in the envelope?
Sure, that'd be fine. Yeah, you can send it to me Monday. All right, any other questions?
No, sir.
All right, well, then that's it for today then. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Mm.
this to stop. Hmm.